Hello, everyone. Good evening. My name is Mia, and I'm a compulsive overeater. Hi. Thank you so much for this meeting, and thank you so much for inviting me to speak here. It is a very special thing for me because at the beginning, this was one of the first meetings that I attended. I found a sponsor here and I found a person who helped me before my sponsor, and she helped me a lot, and she's here this evening. So I just want to thank you, Gail, so much. And thanks to everyone else, and of course, my sponsor, Kara, and everyone else who contributed to my recovery. I am 36 years old now, but I think since I was born, I had an eating disorder. I don't know whether I was born with this or this just developed as a coping mechanism with life. But I remember since I was a little girl, for instance, overeating. And my mother would always tell me, you eat so fast, you eat so much. And I just loved food. And I loved food and ate it. And I come from a Eastern European country where the culture it is appreciated if you're very thin. But I was into sports, so one could not tell that I have this issue with food. I trained a lot, and um, food has always been such source of joy for me, and up until this program, I had no idea how many things in my head revolved around food. For instance, I was able to see that when I entered the program and I had to stay, for instance, away from food from social gatherings. For instance, I learned that I focus on food mainly when I go to see people. Um, as I was growing up, I was not just overeating, I was overtraining. And I developed anorexia. I developed anorexia when I was 19 years old. I discovered the gym and running, and I gained a little bit of weight when I was in college. Before that, I was an exchange student here in America, and I developed a huge addiction to fast food. Then I came back, started training, and another thing developed, and this is anorexia. But throughout all of this, um, I was I didn't understand how selfish I was or egoistic or how self-obsessed I was. These are the things that I just thought, first of all, didn't existed, or if I would see like a character defect of mine, I would never connected it to the eating disorder. Never ever. It was not up until I started working the steps that I understood these things, how connected they are. Um, when I started running and lost a little bit of weight, it gave me like a high because gained I gained a lot of love and attention for losing this weight. And another thing developed, which is the fear of the foods that I love the most. So in the years to come, I abstained from those foods and I got very, very sick. It is very weird that not just that I didn't understand how sick I was, but I went to see doctors, and I think that nobody diagnosed me. I mean, my mother knew, and she forced me like to sit with her. It was very humiliating. I was like 22 years old, like to sit with her until I eat the whole meal like a child, but I was not diagnosed. Um, then one day couple of years ago, this is how I came to the program. I decided it was time to quit smoking cigarettes, and since the moment I stopped smoking cigarettes, the food addiction spiraled out of control, and I got something what is called exercise bulimia. This is how I got to the program. So had my alcoholic foods. I couldn't stop, and I overtrained. I ate and trained, and the trainings were like 4 or 5 hours long. So um, before I came here, it was either this fellowship I wanted to try because, or a hospital, and it was very scary. And somebody from this group really helped me. The meetings helped me, and I got the book. So I started my recovery here. The recovery here was very, 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 very slow. It took me a long time. I have been in recovery. This is my third year now. But it took me, first of all, I couldn't understand the concept. The concept of alcoholic foods, I could understand. And with that part, I struggled a little bit. I wanted to control. It took me some time to understand that I cannot have not a little bit, not a bite, not a lick of something, that I need to be very careful. If I am making a dessert, for instance, for guests, if I am hosting, I cannot lick the spoon. I cannot be, and it took me some time to understand this, to understand the concept of allergy. Um, it took me some time to also come with eating plan that was okay. I even went to different nutritionists, and they didn't understand the concept of food addiction, and they would tell me like, it's just portion control. You should have a balanced diet, and I was not able to explain to them that if I touch something, I cannot stop. And for a long time, I was not able to have certain foods in my house. During the day, I could stay away from them. During the night, I would wake up with a, for instance, spoon, eating something I cannot eat. It took me a long time for my ego to break, to understand that this is bigger than me, this disease, that I cannot control it, that I will never be able to control it, and that I will have to get recovery for this condition until the rest of my life. It took me a long time to accept this because I brushed the how serious this thing is, my food addiction. I brushed it off. I thought it will be okay, but I didn't understand. And the big book talks about it. Like at some point, I crossed one boundary or crossed one line where I could not eat like a normal person anymore. Like I remember before being able to eat certain foods, not anymore. Um, when I admitted my powerlessness over these alcoholic foods, then it took me a long time, another period that was very long, to get the understanding of what the behavior is, because it happens to me even, and this is why I can, if you would tell me like how much when is your day sobriety date in this program, I would have to stop because it's different. For instance, I haven't had my alcoholic foods for a very long time, but I can catch myself eating maybe couple of more fruits, pieces of fruit that I eat. This is okay. But I would say, I wonder whether this was excessive. Then I do the 10 step, I investigate whether I was stressed or something. Because my goal, aside from spiritual recovery, is that I follow this program and not overeat at all and never, and turn to my higher power when there is a stressful or a scary situation and not towards food. And this has been a very big challenge for me. And my disease is changing as I am changing. And I always have to, like, every year, I add a new thing, for instance, a new food to my list, and my eating plan has changed. But something else, as I did the steps and read the literature and did service, something else also something else also changed this program, and I would never expect it, but this was such a wonderful surprise that I learned. I
10
stopped.
minutes.
Thank you so much. I stopped not just overeating, I stopped overtraining. I relaxed, and somehow, I don't know, this is like a miracle from God. I have no idea how this happened. The obsession, not just about the food, but about the weight has lifted, which is a great thing because I really thought that this is something that I would always have to live with, this obsession about the body, this obsession about how much I weigh. I can see, of course, when I look at myself in the mirror that I lost weight, but I train the least at the moment now that I have ever trained. I actually live life. I do not live life to eat and train. I live life, and food and training are just a little parts of the whole thing. I live life with other people. I live life with my goals and dreams, which is that would be my dream, you know. I didn't I didn't think that this was possible for me, and I am very, very, very grateful to God. Um, what happened is as well, I became less rigid. I didn't understand that I was very rigid before, but working on the program and opening up to life, the self-centered fear lessened, and I am able to be. I am not like the queen of spontaneous, of being spontaneous, but I am the most spontaneous that I have ever been. And before I was very, very, very rigid, but this is, I mean, even this meeting is called New Freedom. So I gained the freedom to live life and to meet life on life's terms, because I used food a lot to make myself feel better before. When life is not on me as terms, then eat, eat to feel better. Now I am able to meet life where life is and to be just like a participant in life, and not to have to overeat or overtrain or punish myself. Before, I would punish myself with my food behaviors for not having my own way. Um, I read today, you know, from our program just for today, and it talks about sponsorship. Um, and I gained a lot from my sponsor. I have the same sponsor from the beginning, and um, I really wanted the kind of spiritual recovery that she has. And this is a lot of love and compassion, and a lot of flexibility and understanding, compassion and understanding for other people. That is not like before. I could learn how to be compassionate, but I didn't have I didn't have the real like warmth in my heart. And I think that now I can really feel how people feel, and I can really be laid back, because now I understand that it's not the end of the world if life doesn't happen my way. And black and white thinking and fixed mindset, which are my main character defects next to selfishness, is something that I worked a lot on. And I also sponsor people. And as it says in Just for Today, I don't tell them how to do the program. I don't tell them how to eat. I can show them how I did it. And I am very thankful to our program because it says attraction rather than promotion. And this is how I want to work with others. And not just that, I would like to have this sort of relationship with other people too, where I can love people and let them be who they are, and love myself even if I don't fulfill my own expectations, and love others if they don't fulfill my expectations, and not have to be so resentful. When I was writing steps, I learned a lot about myself, that I was a very resentful person, very fearful, that fear comes from being so self-centered. Um, and I just couldn't live life. And then I did, this is what I learned. When I cannot deal with life, I focus on food, what I will eat. Everything is like food is what blocks me from living life. If I cannot handle the life's challenges, I focus on food. When I removed the food, it became, I saw the necessity. It became necessary to deal with my character defects and to build my spiritual life, so that I can start relying on spiritual principles and spiritual and the relationship with my higher power to deal with life and with people. And this was something very new to me. I even looked up the definitions of virtues and spiritual principles and character defects, because I realized that I didn't know anything about any of them. My default was just to act out of my character defects. So learning about spiritual principles and building on my relationship with my higher power, and this is something that I learned a lot from my sponsor too. Um, she knows how to connect with her higher power very well, and she shared her experience, and her experience talked to me a lot, and that was something that was very, very, very attractive to me. And as well, like patience and compassion that I found in the relationship with my sponsor, that I have never ever found with anyone, was something that was very therapeutic for me. Um, Also, our fellowship, the fact that I saw doctors before, but nobody could help me, but our fellowship could help me. This concept that sees the eating disorder in this way was very helpful to me. This is how I found hope here. I found hope. I found that when I do everything that this program suggests, I am okay. And I had many wonderful moments as a food addict in my recovery. I got married and we didn't have cake, but that is okay. My husband doesn't eat sugar as well either. Um, we had birthdays and other events, and I was able to be a part of those and not be obsessed with food. And I now want to have a baby, and it took me a long time to relax in the program to do so, because I was afraid what will happen if I become pregnant. Will my hormones work this way or that way, and whether I will have cravings? But today I don't have this fear. Today I have a feeling, okay, if I continue to work on my recovery, all will be well. As long as we follow this path, we have nothing to fear. I really feel that this is rings true to me 100%. I trust this program, and I am very grateful to have found this program. Um, This is all I have for you tonight. Um, I hope that my experience, strength, and hope can bring hope to other food addicts like myself, that once felt hopeless and helpless, that there is the other side, and they can get to the other side and enjoy life to the fullest, thanks to our program and our fellowship. Thank you so much.
Amazing. Thank you so much, Mia, for sharing your story. Some wonderful gems in there. Okay, so Q&A time has now open. So if you'd like to ask a question of Mia, please feel free to use the chat function, as the meeting and this section is also recorded, so you can only be asked I mean via the chat. You can do it directly, or I've opened the chat because I know some people struggle with the new updated version. So if you have a question, post it into the chat and I'll ask it anonymously for you. Obviously, Mia's given us a little bit more time to ask more questions. So hopefully we'll be able to draw out those finer points if anyone has a question. First question. Okay, so thank you, Mia, for your share. Can you talk more about how you deal with changes to your food plan? Because you mentioned your food keeps evolving. So could you share more about that? Can you not unmute yourself again? There you go. I've just sent you.
Thank you so much. One more time, the question, I was not able to catch that. I apologize.
No worries. They were just asking, how do you know when you need to make changes to your food plan? Because you said it continues to evolve. How do you know when to make those changes?
Yes, thank you so much for the question. Great question. If I catch myself that I can overeat on something that was not, and this is not like binge like it once was, but I can see, okay, I will give examples. For instance, I saw that I would like to eat like a bigger quantity of watermelon or grapes. Then I don't want to eat that. I will go for something else that doesn't trigger this. But again, these, for instance, these fruits, before I could eat them. Something changed in my body since 3 years ago. And this changed. I saw myself, and then I said, I don't want to do it. It is because if I open the grapes, I want to eat them all. Then I don't want to have them. Then grapes is not bad, but I don't want to eat for comfort. And I know this. I practice this with my higher power when I eat, when I am hungry, and when I eat just because I am bored or I am sad. And then I can hear God because I ask God for guidance, and I can see. I had the same thing, for instance, with cheese. So now I completely changed my relationship, for instance, to cheese. I now to control how much I eat it, and I watch when I eat it and the quantity. The same is, for instance, nuts became my, I can have couple of those if they are not salted. If they are salted, I don't eat them. So, but before I could eat them in regular quantities. So I ask my higher power for guidance, and I intuitively, because probably I ask my higher power often. Intuitively, I hear the voice. You don't need this. You are not this as hungry. It is now time to stop. Like I hear this voice and I'm like, thank you. Okay, yes. And then I change it.
Great response. Thank you. Okay, next question. Thank you so much, Mia. Wonderful recovery. How do you approach your sponsoring?
Thank you. So I tell my sponsors, I tell my sponsors my story, or they have heard it at the meeting, and then we start working together. I like to ask them to do something like a little assignment so that we can stay in touch. For instance, to read this little just for today and to tell me like what they liked about it, or to submit their food. Most of all, I don't pressure them to do anything. I suggest this. So if they want to, I share my food. I think that this is very, very useful. And this, for instance, I didn't think that this sort of credibility would work for me. So I submit my food and I do the 10-step daily. I am on the 10-step train. And I tell my sponsors that you can submit food. One day you can be on a 10-step train. It is a wonderful thing. And you can, if you want, read and just in one sentence, they can share gratitude. Then from what they do, I think, at least sense how much recovery they want. And I like to read the big book with them. I like to read 12 and 12 with them when they write steps and then they proceed to writing steps. I like to share or just exchange. Maybe it is a better word. I like to exchange what they think about the reading from the first step, second step, from this and 12 and 12. And then they write steps. Of course, I listen to them. I write the feedback, and I suggest what I did, which is not just that I went every single day to a meeting, but I would sometimes hit couple of meetings a day. I would ask for help. You know, uh, at the beginning, I think it was difficult for me because I didn't, for instance, so what does it mean for me to be in recovery? Submit food, read recovery literature, go to the meetings, have a service commitment, go to OA events, talk to others or talk to other overeaters. And if a relapse would happen, then I would have to pray, meditate, of course. So do the 10 step. Uh, and I always do step one, two, and three. God, I am a food addict. I cannot control not just food, but life. Please, God, in the morning, I say this. I know that I am crazy. I know that I will want to control. Why is the dog barking? Why is this person shouting? So please bring me back to sanity. I want to have peace today and show me what I need to do. And number three, your will, not mine. So these are the things that I have to do every single day. And I tell my sponsors the same thing. If you want recovery, this is what I think is necessary. And at the beginning, my disease would make excuses why I can't do this thing or the other thing. But I was very persistent. I think that this is key to recovery. And they tell my sponsees as well, no matter how many times you fall, you keep getting up and come back. It doesn't matter. Start counting from the beginning, because I think that uh, this battle of letting go, it is a struggle to let go. I need to try to surrender many times. Once I surrender, there is no problem. But even like I hear God, before I would come, I would let's imagine go for a walk, and then I would see downtown like a pastry shop, and I go into pastry shop just to see what it is, what there is, and I would hear God. You are a food addict. Get out of there. What are you doing there? It is like, I don't know, a gambler goes into casino, like, get out of there. I didn't understand how powerful this disease is and how that if I want to be in recovery, I need to make the effort. And it is just for today. What I do today, it is for today. Tomorrow is a new day. So it took me a long time to accept all of these things. And then once I did, things became easy, but it took some time because I really wanted to control things and I wanted to do my way, which is great because what I did with at the beginning of my recovery, it is exactly what I do in life. Not wanting to follow the rules, but find my own little way. And this what created a problem to stay sober. It created a problem in life to be with people, to accomplish goals, the same thing, not surrendering, not accepting, being selfish, wanting my way, being self-seeking, dishonesty. This was like a breathing to me. To be dishonest, it took me a very long time to see all these ways that I am being dishonest, and to also hear the voice of my disease. First of all, I always thought, the voice of the disease is my voice, and I didn't understand how dishonest I was. And the biggest thing in recovery was when I realized that my eating disorder was not who I am. It is just the disease, and now I can distinguish these voices. And to see how dishonest I am. And now I can hear the voice of God telling me this was dishonest, this was not fair, it's not quite right. Go back and tell the truth, go back and tell the full story. Or I hear, don't tell yourself stories, stop telling yourself stories, which is my storytelling, again, another big character defect. But for this mental clarity from higher power, I am very grateful. And this is, I achieved this through our literature, working the steps, and a fellowship, listening to other people as well, helped me a lot.
Great. Thank you for that detailed response. Okay, this is a good selection of questions. Okay, so the next one says, thank you, Mia. It's great to hear your recovery journey. Can you share more about how you exercise now in recovery?
Thank you so much. Lightly, and sometimes even I would say occasionally. So before I was an addict to running, but not anymore. I completely stopped running. I live in Arizona now. It is very hot here. So during the summer, I go to yoga, and they maybe lift like very light weights with my husband. But this is very light, and I actually get to enjoy it right now. And it is now fall here, so I can walk, and I go for walks. And the freedom of being obsessed with exercise, it is like, it could make me cry, because before I was so tired and so angry, and I didn't understand that I was tired and snappy and angry and arrogant because I was over exercising and I was very hungry, or I would eat too much. And despite of having like that dopamine rush, it would be against my dignity. It was humiliating what my overeating did to me, you know? So I could not feel good about, I lived in shame. I did not want anyone to see what I did with food. And now it's completely different, because these things, the behaviors don't happen anymore, and I don't overtrain. So I am not that tired, and I can actually enjoy. And now I even go like for little hikes with my friends, and I share that with them. And in the morning, I go for a walk, and I talk to my higher power, and I think how things are beautiful around me, and I really love this experience. And for instance, this is another a great gift. Okay, I hope to be pregnant soon. I am not fearing that I will gain weight. I am not fearing that something horrible will happen. I think that if I maintain the relationship with my higher power, if I just let go of the control and say, God, you show me, you tell me, and I will hear the voice, because I always hear it. If I ask, if I maintain the contact, but also I learned I can have contact with my higher power, or only if I treat it like my marriage. I ask questions every day. I ask, what do you think? You tell me, you show me. I want this contact, and I reach for this contact, and then I have the living relationship. This is so beautiful. Thank you, God. I am fearful, God. What do you want me to be here? How do you see this person? How do you see me? What to do about this? I am scared to let go. Give me the strength to let go. Um, I don't know. There was one character defect, which was gossip. God, I say I don't want to gossip, but I end up gossiping. Please, God, you remove this character defect, remove this resentment. I want this eliminated, but I can't. You can. Come on, help me. So this, I would say, humility to ask for help and to admit my own powerlessness, not over food, but over other things as well, has been very, very helpful. And it helped with exercise as well. I didn't ask directly for help with exercise, but it came as the anxiety subsided, because I let go and let God. The relationship with exercise and food completely transformed.
Fantastic. Thank you for that response. Okay, the next question. Can you share more about how you connect with your higher power?
Yes, thank you so much. I connect to my higher power through prayer and meditation, through gratitude as well. And I ask a lot of questions. I come also to the meetings and I hear what other people say. And I also do the 10 step, which I get a lot of good feedback from the 10 step train. And I think that I am letting go of the control when I do the inventory. So I keep inventory is something. So I have been on the train. I keep staying on the train to maintain the relation, to have like a living program, to do the inventory every single day, because I think that this next to, I meditated even before our program and I prayed too, but I didn't have the good relationship with my higher power because of my character defects and fears. So I stay on the train since I started the train maybe 2 years ago, or even more, 2.5 years ago. I think it was only maybe 1 week, or maybe not even that 1 week that I got off. I keep the train, and there was a time like 6 months ago when I was very tired, and I asked my sponsor, "What do you think?" And she says, I always stay on the train, and then I was thinking and meditating, and I was like, I'm gonna stay on the train. I'm gonna stay on the, and I did the 10 step train on my wedding day, and when I had COVID, and when I was very sick, and when I didn't feel like doing it, and I gained a lot from the 10 step train. So the inventories are also very helpful, because my character defects and fears, I cannot hear God if I am so much into self, if I am so much into resentment and the self-centered fear. I just can't hear God. This is why the inventories for me are the keys to hearing my higher power. Although I want to, I have to enable God to speak to me, and I try to enable God through the 10 step continuous inventories.
Brilliant. Thank you for that response. Okay, the next question. Thank you for your wonderful share, Mia. Can you share more about spontaneity? In what ways have you become kind of less rigid?
Well, first, thank you so much for this question. Well, first of all, before I was very rigid. Before I came to the program, I was very rigid with food. What happened was I was anorexic, so there were some foods that I have not had for a very for years. And then when I stopped smoking and the food addiction took off, I was very crazy with certain foods. I missed eating those foods. I overate those foods. And I understood that it is not good to overeat or to be hungry. So first of all, what I wanted to do is gave up the control of what I eat and the body image. That was very big thing. As I let go of controlling that, I started slowly. I don't know how this happened, probably because of the steps. Slowly relaxing. I will give examples. Before, it was not just about what I have, what I want to eat, or what I can't eat, or what I will eat in secrecy, because I was obsessed with this too, the alcoholic foods. I was very rigid because I didn't want people to see what I was doing with food. And I was very sick in my food behaviors. So as I gave up the control, I allowed God to show me what I should be eating and how I should be eating. And they started, the only rules I follow now are the OA rules. 3 meals a day. These meals should have to, for me, it's have to. These meals have to be like regular size meals because I will be hungry again and then overeat. So regular meals, 3 meals a day. Do not eat in between the meals. These are my rules that I follow. But other rules I try not to follow. Before, for instance, I was obsessed with weighing myself. I don't weigh myself anymore. I was obsessed with um, having to exercise. I don't have this obsession anymore. The rigidity could be seen in other things. For instance, who will come to the house? I don't know why this was a big thing. Who can come to the house? Who can stay? Now I am much more open. I want to have people over. I want to meet them. I was very stingy with time. I was always, this is something that, for instance, Steps showed me. I did not, so I used, I used, people before, and now I enjoy people and I rely on food for a nurture. Before I used people and I found a great joy and pleasure in food. Now I eat not for pleasure. I eat because I am hungry. I deal with people because I want to have like an exchange and I actually want to contribute something to the relationship. And I want to take part in life, which is why I am now more ready to give you my time. I didn't understand that I used my eating disorder to sabotage intimacy and that I used being busy or being always detached and isolated to sabotage intimacy. Today, I can see a huge change. I am willing to be with people more. I am willing to invite them over to share my time, to share everything that I have with them. And this has been the biggest gift when it comes to other people. Before, I was alone. I was alone in my food addiction. I was alone in my eating disorder, and I would rather be alone than with others because when I was overeating, I didn't want anyone to see me with food. And I became like my eating disorder was very progressive. So, for instance, if I before, if I would take like an alcoholic food from that moment on, everything was just how to get more revolved around how to get more of that food. I didn't want to talk to you. I didn't, for instance, I would go to a birthday party. I would have something that I cannot have. And I didn't know it back then, but I would always think I need to get more food. And as long as I can eat, I can listen to you, we can talk. But I was not interested in people or anything. I was just interested in what I can have. When I put the food aside and these behaviors, I started being more involved in life and I forgot about myself. And I started being, preoccupied about what is happening around me. I could see the world outside of myself. So the boundaries that were not protecting me, they were sabotaging me to have like meaningful and close and intimate relationships. They loosened, and now I don't think that everything will fall apart if somebody comes to my house or if I give them a little bit of my time. I just want my desire to live life and be a part of something bigger than me. Mm, it is now stronger than me wanting to be alone with food or wanting to be perfect. Because now I finally understand it is not about being perfect. It is about, just like in our fellowship, about being a part of something bigger than myself. And just this, what I learned, I can feel it in my heart. So I am very grateful. This is a great, great gift. It allowed me to take part in life much more.
Thank you. Wonderful. Okay. We've probably got time for a few more, and I've got a couple more questions left. Okay. Thank you for your share. Can you share more about your step 11 morning practice?
I I wake up in the morning and this was such a good thing. So in our big book, it says upon awakening, and it took me like a, a very long time to understand that this is when I open my eyes. It's not after I brush my teeth, so I pray when I wake up. The first thing is to pray, and then I meditate a little bit later. I first pray and I say, God, please show me about how to go about my day. I have a little bit of quiet time in my bed, and then I go for a walk and I talk to God and have a little have some thoughts, and I listen to these thoughts. I would like to think that this is how my higher power speaks to me. So I listen to whatever is happening in this walk, and I try during that walk also, I try to look around me and focus on the beautiful things. And with this, for instance, the walk, or even I sit sometimes during the summer when it was too hot, I would sit here and I would just reflect. I would start with gratitude, and I would just, I love to think about the world, and I say, God, please help me see the world and see. I always think in my disease, because it's so self-centered. It takes me to such a self-centered place. I'm self-centered that I forget that there is a whole wide world, that the world goes beyond my uh, me being my resentments, my fears, my obsession, the obsession about things. So I want, God, please help me see the world today. Help me see what you want me to do today. And then really to think. But to get into this mood, I always look, for instance, outside. Nature helps me a lot to see how things are beautiful and they are not man-made, and there is this beautiful higher intelligence that takes care of everything, and focusing on this beautiful thing, whether I am walking or I look out the window, it really brings me to perspective that the world goes beyond these things. Before our program, before I had the relationship with my higher power, I really didn't know that the world would not stop. If somebody lets me down, the world will not stop. If I let somebody down, the world will not stop. If there is a conflict between us, the relationship doesn't need to stop. We can actually talk. I can listen to you and you can listen to me, and we can actually overcome and continue this relationship. Um, Things will not stop if I don't get my way. What I see today, it is not what it is. What it is today, it is not what it will be. And to get this flexibility and to get this hope, it is something that I have to work on through meditation and prayer. And today I know, so I am much more able. For instance, today I am very, thanks to this meditation, I am very, very curious and excited to see what will happen tomorrow. I don't think that today is the last day. I think I should be in this day today. Tomorrow, who knows? We will see when tomorrow comes. But to have laid, this, me being laid back about this, it is because I have faith. And in our big book, it said, my best friend, I opened the door for him. He was standing across from me. He had drinks. I had a drink and listened to him, and he said, I found faith. He looked different and he said, I have faith today. I think that it is only because of spiritual awakening that one can be hopeful or relaxed about tomorrow. If I ask for guidance what to do today, I can have faith. Then whatever happens, it will be for my greater good. But this is not easy. I ask for God, and I ask that God gives me this kind of faith. And I do this through 10 step as well, and through meditation. And when I see beautiful things around me that have nothing to do with me, and then I remember God is taking care of these things. God is taking care of me. It will be okay. I am not God. I don't have to fix everything. I don't have, and usually God tells me in meditation, don't fix it. Don't fix it. Don't do anything, because my disease always tells me like this. This is not good. You have to do something about it. And when I meditate, I hear God. about some things that are my business, maybe have to do proactively some things, but mostly about the world and other people, I should not do anything. And God tells me, do not fix it, appreciate it, love it, accept it, be a part of it. Do not fix it, do not force it. This is my human, what I want as a human being, but God would want me to let go and appreciate people and life for what they are and to just surrender. And when I do so, everything flows easily, you know, and when I need to fix it, I am so stiff. And then I have anxiety. Will I be able to fix it? You know, and I am crazy in a second, you know, in my head. I get crazy in a second. So I not just that I do my step 11 in the morning, but I ask for God's help throughout the day. I would be driving, I would see that I am getting crazy in my head, and I would say, God, please bring me back to sanity. Please bring me back, you know, my reason. I want to think like a normal person. I need your help right now. This sort of humility I have not known before our program. And this readiness, when I see, I would like to say, but it will sound maybe harsh, when I see how insane I am and I say, God, please, I need your help. This readiness to receive help and to give up this craziness so that I can come back to life and participate in life, I have not known before our program. And if I could change my relationship with food and exercise, it is because of this humility, because I understood, oh my God, my disease makes me crazy. And it tells me, you are right. You are right. They are wrong. You need to tell them something. And when I think like that, I know that I need help. And thankfully, I have this notion. So I ask my higher power for help.
Great detailed responses. Okay, we've only got about a minute left, so I don't know if we've got time for that last one, but that person's left anyway. So just briefly, as we've got like a minute or two, Mia, is there anything else that's on your mind you feel you wish to share? You've covered a lot, but just to give you that option.
Yes, I can share um my when my sponsor asked me, what do you think the topic should be? And I said the topic of this meeting or my message would definitely be the therapeutic value, how significant it is, the therapeutic value of one food addict helping another one. I am just amazed by how much, you know, our fellowship and our program, and my sponsor and my fellows have helped me. I was looking for, I went to a therapist, I went to a nutritionist, I saw a doctor. Nobody could help me. And before our program, I thought I would have to live like this forever until it got so much out of control that I thought I will die. I can't go on like this. But being in the rooms of Overeaters Anonymous, working the OA program, following the suggestions, getting help, um, it brought me a lot of hope. And if you are new, I would say please stick around because we need you, and we cannot keep what we have unless we give it away. And there is hope. And I would invite everyone to keep coming back because I know that I will keep coming back because my life has so much uh, better quality. The quality of my life and my experience in daily life is so much bigger and better when I come to the meetings and when I do what is suggested. So for this, I am willing to keep coming back for the rest of my life and submit the food and work the steps until the day I die because I gained so much. I came here to let go of the food, but I gained so much more. So I am very grateful. Thank you so much.
And thank you so much, Mia. What a beautiful way of ending. I can't believe we've come to the end of the meeting already, but thank you so much, Mia, for your service, time, and energy today. We really appreciate it, and we're glad we've got that recorded for our archives too.